those pronunciations, but that's alright. In the Sacred Flames division, looking here, we see Gildan has an interesting sun, not really sun, but rather rain idea. Developer, Mega Greninja, and Mega Venusaur. Aegislash is also good with rain, since it goes out its weakness to fire. On the other side, Venusaurus, which has some interesting picks. Has a Tyranitar, which is a very good sand Pokemon. Cat sand, of course. Basculegion, which is by far the best Pokemon probably ever in this format. Is a huge pain to deal with its boosted speed. Other than that, they also have Mamoswine, which is good into with sand, since it does not get hit by sand. The Jolteon can be pretty good speed support, Ariados, Redirection. Mega Caesar is very powerful, however, into Aegislash, Greninja, and Venusaur it's not the best. So we see here that Gildan chose to bring both of his megas, well, two of his megas, with Ampharos and Greninja, as well as Hatterene and Machamp. Seems like he wants to go for a Trick Room angle with his lower overall Pokemon. On the other side, we see a more mixed style of team with fast Pokemon and slower Pokemon, having both faster Pokemon like Jolteon, which most likely is using Electroweb, and then slower Pokemon like Tyranitar and Hisuian, which likely will benefit from said Electroweb. They also only brought Scizor as a Mega. So we see here Scizor and Jolteon staring down Hatterene and Ampharos. Very clearly, the Ampharos was the Mega of choice in this scenario. This Hatterene most likely wants to go for a Trick Room. However, it is under pressure from the Mega Scizor, which can hit it, probably one-shot it with Bullet Punch. We see both Mega Pokemon, well, Mega evolving. Mode Breaker means that Jolteon cannot redirect the Ampharos attacks, or rather absorb them, both absorb. However, a double down into the Hatterene immediately takes it out. Dragon Pulse from Ampharos will do 75%, roughly, that Jolteon. But Hatterene not getting that Trick Room off is pretty bad. Pretty bad. Greninja joins the field though, which is surprising, considering it's supposed to be a Mega, but there's already a Mega Pokemon. Jolteon goes for a Volt Switch, which just instantly takes out poor Greninja with a critical hit. And it will make it switch safely out, likely from another Dragon Pulse. Into Mamoswine. Scizor goes for a dual Wing Beat, which doesn't do much to Ampharos. That indicates it really doesn't have much for it. And Ampharos goes for a Volt Switch, does huge damage actually to Scizor. Allowing it to switch, but since two Pokemon already fainted, there's not much it can do in the back, it's just going to come back to the field. This is a 4v2. However, two of Sari's Pokemon are very low HP, and this Aegislash is applying a lot of pressure. However, the Mamoswine is in a very good spot to just click ground moves. Will it do that though? Who knows? We see a King's Shield from Aegislash and a Protect from Scizor. However, Mamoswine takes out for Ampharos. This is a 4v1. Aegislash just protected. So barring a miss from this Mamoswine, it's not looking too good for Juden. Mamoswine hits, it doesn't KO surprisingly, but Aegislash is very tanky, however the double up will take it out. Okay, I'm back from technical issues. So we have a 1-0 lead strong sorries against our guy Geoduin. We'll see how they adapt for game 2. Hatterene cannot afford to die so early, so that's probably the main adjustment Geoduin will make, because his thing kinda needs the Trick Roll to work. But if Hatterene can just get double down that easily, it's not getting anywhere with the Trick Roll. Mega Scizor just clicked Bullet Punch pretty much the whole game, and Dual Wing Beat. We did not see any other moves from it, other than Protect. I'm very stupid. But it might have Swords Dance, considering it did not have a bug move to hit Ampharos with. Might be a setup, kind of Scizor. Once again, the exact same leads as last game. But we'll see how the players adapt. The Zephyros is quite tanky, however it does not do much damage immediately, or rather fast. So it's kind of a sitting duck until Trick Room gets set up. Mega Scizor doesn't really care about its speed because it has priority. Brain not looking to get double down again, goes for a Protect, blocking the Bullet Punch with the subsequent Volt Switch. Ampharos is free to attack. He hits a Thunder into the Scizor. Does immense damage. Does not get the para, meaning that it's still faster than the Ampharos. The Hatterene is still alive, so he can still get that Trick Room up, but likely not this turn. Afraid of another double down. Scizor goes for another Bullet Punch, another Volt Switch. Will take out the Hatterene once again. Huge damage from a Dragon Pulse into the Mamoswine. Now both Scizor and Mamoswine are low HP. And we do see an adjustment bringing Pelipper, which is very good into both of these Pokemon. Ampharos switches out into Greninja. Once again, Greninja in the back. Now Scizor protects itself. And Mamoswine goes for a high horsepower, which does huge damage into Greninja, but not enough to take it out. Tailwind from Pelipper will restore the momentum back into Geodune's favor. Especially since with that Jolteon in the back, it's not doing much against Ampharos in the back. Wide Guard from the Pelipper gets ignored by an Ice Shard and a Bullet Punch. Greninja is down now. And now Ampharos is back on the field. As the last two Pokemon remain. Two more turns of Tailwind, 3 more turns of Rain. This is not over yet. This is very much a game that can be turned around. However, we do not know which Pokemon Saris brought as the last one. If it's Basculegion, it could do what Basculegion does best and just reverse the last respects. If it's Tyranitar, it could still win by just resetting the weather. If it's Goodra, Goodra is not that good. We see a double protect, stalling out that tail and stalling out that rain. As two attacks with to the opponent. If I had to guess, Basculegion is the last Pokemon that is in the back. However, if it's Basculegion, it could still lose to Mega Ampharos if it survives even a single hit. White switches out into Tyranitar, it's not Basculegion. Pelipper misses a Hurricane into the Tyranitar, but Ampharos hits a Thunder into the Scizor. Two 70% chances, one of them was rolled, the other missed. But now, Geodude no longer has Tailwind and no longer has Weather. And Scizor is still in the back, relatively. That's not very healthy, just not much health, but still enough to attack. Jolteon switches back in, and now the Pelipper, we've seen its leftovers, is under big pressure. He goes for a Wide Guard, likely expecting a Rock Slide and an Electro Web. Thunderbolt comes out, ignores the Wide Guard. One-shots poor Pelipper. That's crit. Tyranitar uses high horsepower. Does a lot to Ampharos. As Ampharos misses a Focus Blast. And now this is a 3v1. This Tyranitar is a big issue. It's too tanky. It hits too hard. Thunderbolt from Jolteon barely even tickles Ampharos. However, another high horsepower will put it down for good. And this is a 2-0 victory to Saris. Sorry for my voice being a little worse today. But thanks for tuning in. And we'll see you next time. Peace.